Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I share videos on the latest tech and helpful tips. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to subscribe. Now let's get started.
Having your motion sensor light stay on constantly can be incredibly frustrating, wasting energy and defeating its primary purpose, but often the fix is simpler than you think. Before diving into complex solutions, always start by performing a basic power cycle. Locate the circuit breaker controlling the light, switch it off for about 30 seconds, then turn it back on. This can often reset the sensor and resolve temporary glitches. While you're at it, check if your light fixture has a manual override feature. Sometimes, rapidly flipping the wall switch on and off a certain number of times can toggle the light into a continuous on mode, which you'll need to reverse by repeating the sequence or holding the switch for a specific duration, as detailed in your fixture's manual. The most common culprit, however, is environmental interference. Motion sensors, particularly passive infrared, PIR, types, detect changes in heat, so anything that moves and emits heat can trigger them. Look for swaying tree branches, bushes, or tall grass that might be moving in the wind within the sensor's detection zone. Passing cars, pedestrians, or even pets can keep the light activated if they're constantly within range. Reflective surfaces like large puddles, shiny garden ornaments, or even a glass door can also confuse the sensor. Try to clear the area around the sensor, trim any obstructive foliage, and ensure the sensor isn't inadvertently pointed towards a busy street or reflective object. Once environmental factors are ruled out, it's time to adjust the sensor's settings. Most motion sensor lights have dials for SENS, sensitivity, time, duration, and LUX or DUSK-DAWN, ambient light. Begin by lowering the SENS setting. This reduces the range and sensitivity of the sensor, making it less likely to detect distant or minor movements. Experiment by making small adjustments and testing the light's behavior. Next, check the time setting, which dictates how long the light stays on after motion is no longer detected. If this is set to its maximum, it might appear as though the light is constantly on, so try reducing it to a shorter duration like 1 or 5 minutes. Finally, if your light has a LUX or DUSK-DAWN sensor, ensure it's not set to detect dark conditions during daylight hours, which would force the light to stay on. Sometimes, dirt, dust, or even a spiderweb on the photocell, the small lens that detects ambient light, can obstruct it, making the sensor think it's always dark, so give it a gentle clean. Physically inspect the sensor lens for any debris, dirt, or cobwebs that might be blocking it, and ensure the fixture is securely mounted and not wobbly, which could cause false triggers. While less common for a light that stays on, loose wiring or incorrect installation could lead to erratic behavior. If you suspect wiring issues, always turn off power at the breaker first and consider consulting a qualified electrician if you're uncomfortable checking connections. If all these troubleshooting steps fail, the motion sensor itself might be faulty or at the end of its lifespan. Prolonged exposure to elements can degrade components. In this scenario, replacing just the sensor head might be an option if your fixture allows, or the entire fixture may need replacement. Remember, safety is paramount. Always turn off the power at the circuit breaker before attempting any physical adjustments or inspections. By systematically working through these common issues, you should be able to get your motion sensor light working correctly again. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing for more helpful tips and DIY guides.